Hey, Scruffy. Wow, already walking away. Means you're hungry? So I'm still a little early. But yeah, I've been feeding you earlier because I'm trying to go out and exercise when it cools down right before sunset. So I'm going to try to do the same tonight. And I'm actually a little bit further behind today. But yeah, I'm still early for dinner. But I'm only planning to do a short run today. Do a interval run. Okay. So I have the smelly fish tonight. So as I mentioned the past few days, I screwed up and I opened a new can of cat food when I still had stuff in the previous can. Hadn't used up. Just, yeah, I lost track. For some reason I thought I needed to open a new can. I thought we'd used up the other can, and then I checked and whoops, no, it's still half full. So right now I'm alternating between the two, since they're both open now. So Scruffy gets a little variety. And he gets his smelly fish. I think he really likes the smelly fish. I think it's the one I hate the most. It smells bad. And I think Scruffy may walk away slightly hungry from it. Because, yeah, the smelly fish is more gravy than meat compared to all the other ones. So if I had to buy that one on its own, I probably wouldn't. I think the quantity-wise, I think, yeah, the best one is the turkey Hardy Cuts. Because that one, it's packed pretty tightly with meat chunks. It's very, comparatively, very little gravy. So it seems like it's probably a good deal, and that makes sense. So turkey is a very economical meat. I'm actually surprised I don't see turkey sold at the grocery store all year round, like chicken is. You can buy big birds of turkey at Thanksgiving, and they're really cheap because usually they do loss leaders. But many times I thought, I'd really like to have a turkey at a different time of the year. And you can't really buy them, except I've seen them occasionally in a frozen freezer section, so they'll have a whole bird frozen. But yeah, I actually don't want a whole bird. I'd much like it if they'd serve it or cut it up like a chicken. So you can buy the chicken thighs, so you buy turkey thighs and turkey legs and turkey breasts. They got the processed meat stuff, but yeah, it's not the same. Like I don't think the turkey breast sandwich meat tastes anything like real turkey breast or real turkey at all. So yeah, I don't really like the cold cuts. So I'm actually curious, yeah, what is more economical, a chicken or a turkey? Are they about the same? I remember reading in They're being taught, I think, in it's probably elementary school or maybe middle school. I don't remember. The different economic costs of the different meats. Um, it wasn't rigorous, so yeah, it wasn't high school stuff. Even high school would be that rigorous, but it was basically looking at, I think, the amount of feed that you put in versus the amount of uh, meat you get out. And I think, yeah, poultry came out at the best ratio, something, I don't know the ratios, like 2 to 1 or something, or 1 to 2. And then I think pork was next to like 1 to 3 or something like that. And then beef was, yeah, much further down. So I saw on the news, I think this was in a slightly older article, so, well, I don't know, it wasn't that old, but yeah, it wasn't that new either. I think, yeah, there was an enormous number of dead cattle bodies being disposed of in Kansas? I don't remember what state it was. And the article, I think, was basically stating that, or implying that, due to some enormous heat waves, basically all the livestock's been dying, and the ranchers are disposing of the bodies, and the normal process of disposing them has been overrun because there are just too many deaths, and so they're being forced to use, I think, landfills and other things, and the article is very fixated on the smell. I think the thing that the article should have talked about, which it didn't even touch upon, was what does this actually mean for the supply chain? So are we going to get more shortages? You know, is this just limited to Kansas, or is this, you know, the entire region? You know, how many of these, or what percentage of this, you know, is gonna, or, you know, is part of the food supply, and, you know, is that going to impact prices? Because we're already seeing, you know, ridiculously high prices for meat, and presumably, yeah, this isn't going to help. But yeah, the article was, you know, completely clueless and didn't touch upon any of those things. I think, you know, especially in today's climate, you know, those are the questions, you know, probably people are most interested in, and it's the ones that this article didn't want to discuss. Terrible journalism. I can rant about all the things that they did talk about, which were kind of stupid, but I think I'll just move on. Yeah, that's why nobody trusts journalists anymore, because they don't do their job, they don't do a good job, and seem to be pushing their own agenda instead of just telling us the truth. So I think we're about food time here, Scruffy, huh? Yeah, he's starting to calm down. Okay, there's that meow. Okay, let's get your food. Here it comes. So he's facing away from me. Hard to brush from this angle. Okay, good enough. So I saw Scruffy this morning on the table sleeping, and he looked really comfortable. So as I've been complaining, I'm using a different device now for filming, and I hate it. So it was in its powered off state, and as I've been mentioning, it takes me a really long time to get the camera working, because basically the booting the device takes forever, and then launching into the camera app usually results in it freezing up and crashing, and then me having to do it over and over again. So it took me about 10-15 minutes before I could actually get the camera working. And Scruffy was still sleeping in pretty much the exact same position in that time period. So when I finally did get the footage, yeah, he looked exactly the same, and that's not usual for him. Usually he moves around a little bit, but I'm guessing that meant he was really comfortable sleeping this morning. And he was on the table kind of late this morning, which was also unusual. Usually he's there earlier, and usually he's off, I think, by that time period, and he's on the deck or something. Because we were starting to get close to lunch at that point. So let's see. Later, brought out the water, and I think he was behind the table again, lying down. No meows for me this time, unlike yesterday. So yeah, he looked really sleepy. He didn't seem to want to interact with me. Just lied there. And I went in, and sure enough, the moment I went in, yeah, he comes to the water. So same as usual. Doesn't want to interact with me. Yeah, so this morning when I was trying to turn on the phone, basically what I did is I just turned it on, and then I left and did some other things and came back, and then after it finished booting, I started the camera app, and then I left, and then when I came back, I think, yeah, I set it on to, I think it didn't crash this time, so I set it on to video camera, but it hung for a while, so I left again, and then I came back, and then I think it managed to resume without crashing this time. And so in that 10-15 minute window, I was able to get the camera going so I could film Scruffy. But yeah, that's ridiculous. It's a piece of junk. I'm really tempted to try that iPhone again, even with the swollen battery, but I shouldn't. But yeah, how awful this camera app is, or this device is, and really tempted. So let's see. Oh yeah, yesterday after I fed Scruffy, I went on a bike ride, and it actually the weather was starting to cool down. Um, so yeah, the evening cooled down a little faster than the prior days, or the past couple weeks actually. So yeah, it was actually a really nice ride. And then I went late enough that the sun was getting kind of low in the sky, and so since I ride through a lot of hills or mountains or valleys or whatever, the sun was obstructed in many places. So I went on the exposed mountainside as my final climb. So I did an extended route last night. So yeah, I didn't witness any distraught crazy women or teenage boys in getting into an accident again. So I guess it was fairly uneventful. But yeah, I did my extended route, and I did it in pretty good time. I was very surprised. I think I was running maybe almost 10 minutes ahead of where I was last time, which is pretty major. And I think it was just because, yeah, the heat differential. So it was so much cooler that I didn't feel fatigued, or I didn't feel like I needed a water break as often. I was actually able to go further without stopping for a water break. And then the exposed mountainside, because the sun was so low, I was actually not getting much sun. So that was really nice. So all in all, yeah, it was a good ride yesterday. Scruffy's almost done. Gonna have to move his balls. So it's the smelly fish, so I'm sure he's going to want to lick the bowl. So tonight I was debating if I should go for another long run or just do an interval run. So I think my legs feel a little fatigued, so I'm thinking, yeah, I should probably do a short run. And I think maybe if I want to get faster, I got to do more of the interval runs. So I'm gonna give it a try tonight. The weather actually is kind of nice right now. So we actually got some clouds. So the ambient temperature is still kind of high, but I noticed the house didn't heat up nearly as much, and I think it's because of the clouds. So I'm actually much less grumpy today. The heat's more manageable. And so I'm expecting, or I'm hoping that, yeah, when I go out for a run in a bit, the temperature will be nice. Okay, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.